This is our last day in Tuscany, our last full day. Tomorrow morning we are packing up and leaving to go to Switzerland and then to the Netherlands. I just want to take a few moments to actually maybe summarize our stay here a little bit and talk about my thoughts and impressions about about Italy and what I think of the place after being here for the last 10 days. This is quite possibly the worst time for me to be talking about this or to be filming at all, because I am really in a poor shape right now. And there is a big pussycat here being quite vocal, probably asking for love and attention. Yeah, so I'm just a bit in a kind of a bad place emotionally right now, but it's quite personal, so I won't be sharing it here. So forgive my state right now, but I'm gonna do my best to summarize and to tell you more about what I think and feel about Italy and Tuscany after being here and at the end of our stay. So it's absolutely gorgeous, like that. There's no denying what an absolutely beautiful place this is. The nature, the rolling hills, the views around, the cypresses sitting on both sides of the roads and just framing things so beautifully. Just driving through Italy, oh my god, it is such a pleasure. And the Italians are so lovely, so welcoming, so happy to include you and talk to you. Yeah, just all up for socializing and for partying, and it's really easy to just talk to them, as long as you can navigate the language differences between Italian and English. I am surprised that English isn't more common in Italy, which is such a touristic place, and so many people come here from all over the world. So struggling to communicate in English is not something I was kind of prepared for. I was really assuming that it would be much easier. But what I guess have been struggling with is the lack of organization when it comes to the logistics of life. The roads are so bad. In most places, really narrow, really poor quality roads with holes in them and all patched up. They seem to drive very carelessly. It doesn't seem like the rules of the road of driving are respected or upheld by the Italians. Speed limits, oh, forget it. Everybody will slow down when there is a speed check, but other than that, I would try to drive only a few kilometers above the speed limit, because I don't want to get back to Australia with like a whole bunch of speed tickets. That's just not a nice way to end your holidays. But people just kept overtaking me and driving so fast and driving really close behind, and it feels quite dangerous on the road. And there's also the issue of the roads being blocked. Many of the roads, it seems they are under some kind of state of repair, even though I couldn't actually see a lot of repair happening. But a lot of roads are still blocked, so you can't quite follow the navigation, because the road that it's supposed to take you straight to the place you want to go is blocked. So you have to kind of keep searching, and going around those little narrow roads, and those feel quite dangerous to me. I was actually going to take my mom and myself to San Gimignano, and we just didn't make it there because the main road going there was blocked. And when I tried to drive those narrow roads, I was just so incredibly stressed and so worried for our lives that after 15 minutes of that, I just said, no way, okay, we're gonna go somewhere else. So that was a bit disappointing because I came from Australia thinking it would be just such a fun thing. It would be so easy to just get in the car and drive to Tuscany, drive through Italy the way I do in Australia. Great roads, great signs. It's so easy to navigate. People obey more or less the road signs and the rules of the road. So it's so easy to drive in Australia, and not so much so in Italy. So there's that. There's also an issue of the places being closed where the internet says that they should be open. So many times I would do my research, find something, a lovely place, cafe or a restaurant or a vineyard where we could go and buy and taste wine or oil and just buy some supplies for ourselves. And in about 80% of cases, these places were closed, even though they were listed on the internet. And according to the Google search, they were open during particular hours. Here in Italy, places are open for food, generally between 12:30 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. for lunch, and then from about 7 p.m. On for dinner. So you have to eat your meals in those times. Otherwise, you have a poor chances of getting a meal anywhere else. So we would go to places, having researched the internet and knowing that this is the time where this place should be open. And in about 80% of cases, they were closed. We've just found this lovely little place. It is a restaurant on a lake. There is a lake there. So we got quite excited to sit down here, to sit outside and to have some lovely Italian cuisine and some delicious Italian food for our lunch. However, despite the sign that says come in, we're open, there doesn't seem to be anybody here. So we are hungry and uncertain where to go. We were actually going to drive all the way to San Gimignano, can't remember the name, and we actually gave up because the main road was blocked. Another blocked road in Italy. Welcome to Italy. That's the gorgeous lake. So the road was blocked, and so we had to sort of take those little side roads, and they were so narrow, so dangerous, with so many turns, going up and down, quite steep hills, and down the hills. And whenever a car would come from the opposite direction, you literally had to like squash all the way, squeeze yourself all the way to the right, because we drive here on the right side of the road, and wait for them to pass. So to be honest, after half an hour of driving this way, I decided, okay, we're just stopping wherever, and we're gonna have lunch in the nearest town. And here we are in this town, but we still can't eat. I must admit, I'm feeling a bit defeated by Italy. And what might be playing into it right now is the fact that I had a very, very poor quality sleep, and yeah, I barely slept last night. And so I'm just not feeling my best at the moment. But already yesterday I had that sense that yeah, I want to sit down with my camera and talk about Italy today. And what just kept kind of coming to mind is this sense of being defeated. And this is not to say that Italy is not a gorgeous place and not worth visiting, because it absolutely is. And I know that so many people are and can be happy here, so that's not an issue. I think just from my point of view, as a person being really quite organized and a little bit on the OCD side, I guess, I am struggling with how little care is given here to different details. and how it wouldn't take so much work to fix things up. And there's so many broken things in all these different houses that we've been visiting and staying in, and holes in walls, and like I'm talking good quality accommodation that costs good money. And there's just, I guess, neglect or lack of care that I am just noticing around. Communication is tricky language wise, but I'm doing my best with my broken Italian. But we would ask for things. So for example, in this place, they make their own oil and their own wine. And immediately when we arrived, when we were giving key to our unit, our place, I told them we would love to try both the oil and the wine, and we'll probably end up buying some. And we got oil probably a week later. It was really good oil, but we had to wait a week for that. And wine last night. Like, we got that bottle of wine to taste last night. And this seems like, I guess, a good metaphor just for Italy in general, that because Italy is such a gorgeous, beautiful place with amazing food. So, definitely food and wine. We are just so loving the quality of food and drinks and coffee and the niceness of everybody, and how lovely they are and open and welcoming. That's just beautiful. That is such a great aspect of being in Italy. Plus the wonderful places we've been to, Florence and Pisa, and just visiting other different smaller towns, and just in awe of this gorgeous place. But I jokingly keep coming to the conclusions that Italians know that people from all over the world will come, that tourists will keep coming here. So they just don't really need to make such an effort to accommodate us better. Look at all the olives on this tree. There's so many olive trees and vineyards around, and those cypresses that look so gorgeous. So it just seems like they just know tourists will show up. Whether Italians speak English or whether the different facilities actually work in the house, or whether they provide signage on the roads, or whether the roads are even drivable. It's like, people will still come with their money from all over the world and visit. So it's quite all right to just keep Italy the way it is. So I've been loving it, but I've also been having just questions about, can I actually really move to the place that frustrates me in different ways? And at the moment, I'm really not so certain. I'm still moving to Europe, but I think Italy is coming off of my list of kind of priority places that I would love to actually live in. So we're just gonna, buongiorno, we're gonna have to see what happens next year when I turn up here with my suitcase and the few items that I am going to take with me from Australia. And then I shall see.